Okay, so I'm just jumping on here because I really want to start opening up that door again to talking about everything. I am in a bit of a transitional period where I feel like a lot of things are coming up for me that I am moving through and sorting through internally to be able to, I guess, clear out and to reflect back onto and to make way for a new energy coming into my life. And some really old self talk has been sticking around me for a little while now, and I think that it's really coming up because I am needing to transform that and needing to really get more, I guess not more, I don't like to use that word more, but to redefine those words and habits and behaviors and actions that I'm doing into my life that are coring from my internal world. And yeah, it's very frustrating. I think there's a lot of frustration and a lot of, I guess, ignorance coming in because it's frustrating. And yeah, I sit with myself a lot, and I sit in my internal space a lot. And what I'm finding right now is that I'm not really listening to what it is that's actually coming through. And I don't know about you, but I feel like this is such an easy place to come into when we are moving through changes in our life, and there is these shifts that are happening that we're kind of like grabbing onto our old self to like bring with us, but this new change is really asking us to remodel. And it's really easy to fall into the distraction and into the ignorance of what those parts of ourselves are really wanting, because it's really uncomfortable, and it's also meshed with a little bit of uncertainty about what that's actually looking like, and you have to rebuild this new level of trust within yourself that that's the direction that you're heading into, and that's the path that is really unfolding for you as an individual. And there's so many things in this part of my life that I'm super excited for, and I can't wait to really step deeper into that space. But there's also a few things here where I'm really just piecing together for myself and nurturing, and along with the impatientness of just wanting to get through this part, there's also this slow steadiness within myself that really wants to just show up to it in its own pace, in its own mannerism, and really just take life for what it is right now and just move with that. And I find that that's like the most moving and transformative path for my own self to take, because I feel like I can actually find some real changes and real shifts in that space. I really want to come on to these videos and really help share what it is that I am experiencing and learning, and provide more information around how it is to empower ourselves as individuals. How I empower myself may not look like how you empower yourself, and there's so many different ways and I guess unique forms on how we can really deepen into ourselves and really take the call into the directions that we really want to go into. I am really becoming a advocate for following those pathways that just feel right, no matter what that might look like. And in the middle of all of that, maybe your pride and ego has to really come to the forefront and be dismantled, because there is a path here that we are creating internally that is asking for alignment and really trying to align to our deepest core values and desires. Yeah, and like I just feel like there's a big opening here for me to really just step into, where I can really provide a cool creative space that I'm really proud of and that can be heard by many, and the message of deep love and alignment can really come into play. I think I get tested a lot in my own mind and in my own self about what it is I truly believe in when I am confronted when I'm confronted with my own voice, and when I speak up and I share what it is that I'm truly passionate about. And I feel like there's a little bit of a disalignment that's happening within inside of my internal world here, where I'm not actually showing up to those values and those core morals and things that I'm really wanting to share, and actually, you know, stand in a position like things like doing yoga and living a mindfulness life is something that I'm challenged by. And so, you know, it's not like every single day that I'm doing these practices or I'm doing this internal work. There is definitely things that are getting in the way, like stress and worry and, you know, just kind of on the rat race a little bit, trying to just make the next step happen, make the next move happen, and really trying to, I guess, run out of the space that I'm in because I don't really want to be in it. And when I have space and time in my bubble to rest and restore and nourish, I feel like that's where a lot of the old habits and the old thoughts and the old patterns and things are coming up for me, that I'm almost trying to clear out and release and acknowledge and reflect on, so that I can create those times and those spaces to be more of value, to be more of a aligned lifestyle that I really want to create. And it's actually this that I get really excited about talking about. I feel like my voice comes out a lot more when I'm in this realm of transformation, when I'm in this realm of understanding what it takes to actually click out of this old self and into a new self. And I feel like life is really asking that of us all the time. Like, it's really here to teach us how to my food is going to be here soon. Teach us how to be the best versions of ourselves. And as cliche as that might sound, it really is teaching us the skill set and certain experiences that come into our life to open up parts of ourselves to learn from. And so I'm really going to get super clear on what it is that I actually want to deliver. I really foresee this new space unfolding in a way that is really just here to be an open support space. It's here to connect. It's here to spread value, spread knowledge, connections with other beautiful women and people who are just on a path of really just wanting to do the best that they can, and what that actually looks like, and when to let go, and when to embrace the self deeply, and when to, you know, give empathy on the self when we're not actually where we thought we were going to be. And yeah, there's so many so many topics, so many things I want to talk about when it comes to this space. I've had this little piece of paper literally sitting next to me all morning. I keep looking at it and I just feel like I need to write. So I'm going to share the story. There was this lady who came into work the other day who was getting a treatment, and she shared with me that she was wanting to lose weight because she was recommended that to be able to conceive and have a baby. And something came up in me that I wasn't shy with expressing to her straight away. I was a little bit shocked, and I was like taken back in a way when she shared that with me, because it just opened up this feeling and this sensation within me that just felt so off on what she had just said. Like, it just didn't seem right that she was being told that she needed to essentially lose weight to be able to create life, which is the most natural thing that a woman can do. And I know that there's so many complications and things and blockages and health issues and things here that I can't completely 100% within myself back up with data and know that there is a right path in choosing the natural way and choosing, you know, this path that could ultimately 100% get you to that direction. But when I really sit and I am in reflection of hearing a woman receive that type of information, like, it just triggers me on a really deep level, because essentially I feel like she's being told that she needs to be more of herself or be better or be something different in order to fulfill this desire in her life. And yes, even though health is a huge aspect to all of this, spiritual growth, evolution, healing our trauma and healing all of these things, there's definitely a way to go about having a conversation with someone who is wanting to conceive a child and feeling like they have to go down this journey that is stressful and full of feeling like they're not enough. And I really want to bring that out and talk about it, because yeah, it really brought up a lot within me. And I know it's not about me, it was about, you know, her on this journey. And I felt really bad with the expression that I kind of gave to her, because it did really take me back. But, you know, I feel like in my journey, I have really empowered myself, and I've been afraid to, I guess, really stand in this position of what I have done to be able to nourish my internal self, to move through these changes, these shifts that I keep talking about. And they do continuously come up quite frequently in our life in order for us to continuously evolve. And it doesn't just, like, you don't just heal and then that's it. You know, it's, you don't just like break through certain parts of yourself and then that's it. There's always these new levels and versions of yourself if you want to continue, you know, moving in those directions. There's different seasons of our life that ask for different parts of our life. Becoming a mother myself, I've had to fully let go of this aspect of my career, this aspect of my old self that was building something that was super excited about, super passionate about, that kind of never really led me into the destination that I really was wanting to fulfill. And then now becoming a mother, falling pregnant and going through all of those emotions and shifting into this space of, okay, this is where I am in my season right now. This is where I really want to be. I really want to just nourish myself and indulge in this part of my life and give this part of myself, this part of this position that I'm in, this part of the love that I have for my baby already, and show up to that space with my partner, my family. It's all about tribe and community and really just being in this nurtured space of creating life. And that's just so beautiful to me. And I just feel like that has also been such a hard transition to come into, like to reflect on myself and to tell myself to let go and to tell myself that I need to really be okay with being in this space and that I am enough and that I do have enough and I am like still acceptant of love, even though I'm not creating a business or creating some sort of, you know, thing that is being like wow and amazing and healing the world at a grand scheme. Because I feel like right now my season is to be a mother, to be here for my child, and that really does that threads into its own thing, you know, that is powerful in itself. And so in this, I think feeling this woman share this information with me and really seeing her with where she was at in her journey, the stress and the pressure that she was feeling to be able to have this next step and this next part of her life be fulfilled, after being married and after, you know, buying a home, and then like the next thing was to have a baby, and to have all of this pressure on actually making that happen, I feel like is really quite toxic for women to move into, for any of us to move into, no matter what you're sort of looking at it with, you know, whatever storyline you're going into, whether you're becoming a mom, you're becoming a creator, you're, you know, becoming more of this part of yourself, you're having to shed, let go, wherever you're at in your stages of life. I just think that these stories help us to understand each other when we're sharing them. And yeah, I just felt like it's really sad to lean into these pressures of life, lean into what is expected of us from the external voices that we hear, and to really claim our empowerment back, to really claim this internal self-reliance and trust on our own intuition about where it is that we soulfully as an individual want to stand in this world, does bring up a lot. I think it brings up a lot of this self-reflection, because you do have to completely rely and trust on your own self. And that is a practice, it's a skill, it's like it's a devotion to give to yourself every single day. And I really feel for everyone around me, I think, that I come into contact with and hear these stories, because I have been in those positions many, many, many times before, where I have not empowered myself. I've always listened to the outside voices, and it is a solid choice to make in the end, to go, actually, no, this is what I truly want to do, what I truly need, and how I truly want to move forward in this direction. And in that is actually where we really do create these beautiful desired moments that can come to life. I am really all for us living out our desires, and it will come through, and I really believe in that. I also believe that letting go and processing these emotions and processing life and processing what it is that's actually coming up for us energetically moves us in such a big way. It opens up the doors to the new energy that we're really calling into our life to actually come through, rather than holding on to all of the intensities and intense pressures of life that aren't actually ours to hold on to. When we fully release those things, it allows life to fully come in. And I really believe that that is something to look at. I'm not saying that it's the answer, and I'm not saying that this is the way and this is how it should be done, but I feel like there's a huge element here that a lot of us are still not looking at, because it is such a confronting space to be in. It's a confronting place to self-reflect, to take full responsibility for how you think and how you feel, and what is actually going on, what you're actioning in your life, that you do really have control of those things in your life. And it's actually our perspective and the thought that we don't have it that is the hard conditioning that we've been faced with, that we find it hard to break through, you know. And it can be illusional and it can be very misperceived, but that's where our self-reflection comes in. I feel like when you know, it's, and when you start to get familiar with your knowing, there's so much power in that can take us to those places of where we truly want to be. And I truly believe that that's how I've been able to stand in the places that I'm standing in. And, you know, I have had to really change my perspective on what even success looks like, because I've been wanting to build a business and build a space and a community and share myself, share my internal world to people who want to hear this and who are also on their own journey to wanting to evolve. Like, that has been such a massive passion piece for me to invest into creating, that can be heard, it can be aesthetically pleasing, to invite people into this cool trendy space. You know, I've gotten so lost in that whole adventure of what all of that really has looked like, and I've completely missed the point of where it truly is that I want to settle into in this time. And that is really just sharing what I have internally done. It doesn't matter like what it looks like on the outside, whether you have that business, whether you have that community and you have that cool, you know, aesthetically pleasing product that you've created. Yes, all of that is amazing. But for myself, I've had to fully let go of certain conditionings of that equals success, and those things equaling my, you know, devotion. Because truly where I sit is actually in my success is breaking past things like insecurity, breaking past things like having no confidence, and now not caring too much about what other people are thinking, to gain like this deep insight into my intuition and fully trusting in that. Those things are such deep successes personally to grow through, and to fall into a beautiful relationship that also co-creates with me in this space is something I've desired for such a long time, and I'm really living that out, to then now form a new sense of life and that this creation that's happening inside of me of having a baby. There's some really big things that I've wanted to move towards and really deepen into in a really humble way that feels true and authentic to me, that's not based from fear, that's not based from needing to do it because that's the next thing in my life, and just really aligning with what is true. Like, a lot of this actually really matches up to my astrology plus my partner's astrology in creating a family, into moving into that next level of our relationship together, and into this part of our life where we are, like, I guess, evolving. And I really would love for other people to like know that those things are a possibility, know that those things can happen in your life too, and you can feel life on that level, feel life in a way that feels right, that you're meant to be exactly where you're meant to be, and you're experiencing exactly what you need to experience in order to be the person you want to be. And in fact, the painful part of letting go and trusting, getting out of your own way and limiting the control that you have on all of it, is actually the biggest sense of control you can give to yourself. And that faith and that devotion to something higher than us, than what we think it needs to be, and aligning with what it is for us, you know, learning about what it is we're actually here to learn, and not getting caught up in the whole it should look like this and be this way. So yeah, it feels really empowering to understand where I've come from, so that I can understand how I want to show up to you, because I feel deeply passionate about really removing what life should look like, and really sitting in the places of feeling super aligned with your life, and allowing that to speak and allowing that to shine out. And that, I feel like, is the gift I would love to give to this world. It's amazing, it's nourishing, and it doesn't always feel that way every single second of the day, but there is deep moments in life that I know that I experience, I know that my partner experiences, when we feel like we are feeling ourselves and we're moving towards these directions of life. It's compelling, and that's where I really want to strengthen for this space, for this channel, for sharing this knowledge, because there's no one way of doing things. There's actually many ways, and I feel like shining a light on this aspect of self-reflection, this aspect of really moving through life in a way that is fully becoming aware of what's actually happening and not being afraid to lean into the truth of all of that is such a powerful piece. And it is an aspect. It's not everything, but it is an aspect I really would love to share more of, so that we can become fully aware and whole of the entirety of where we're at right now, and feel empowered over feeling lack and not, empowered and sitting in the fear of it all. So that's my share today. I would love to always connect with you if you have anything that has come up for you, or anything that you would like to question or talk more about. Please let me know. But I will leave it here, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you.